starting Happy Pharm Life, I've had the awesome opportunity to talk to tons of pharmacy school and pharmacy students through presentations, and they've asked me a lot of wonderful questions. But my favorite question that I've ever been asked was a student who followed my Instagram page and saw my YouTube channel, and she asked, "How do you do it all?" My answer was almost instantaneous that I said, "I don't." And because I've gotten this question numerous times on my Instagram page, people sending me DMs asking me how I manage my time and how I do all the things that I do, I want to be very clear and honest about the things that I do get done and the things that I don't get done. And I do want to say I do think that I'm a very productive person. I'm going to be making more videos on how I manage my time, so hopefully those can help you as well. But I do want to say that I don't have everything all together, and that a lot of times when I'm succeeding and really achieving highly in one area, something else in my life is not going well and is probably not getting done. So if you followed my social media, I've been on here for like 4 years. You may see me doing a lot of things. I am a very busy person. We travel. I have this YouTube channel. I'm a full-time pharmacist. I'm a cat mom, which if you can hear the ringing, you might be able to, I don't know. Luna is playing with a ball that has a bell on it underneath my chair. I'm a wife. I am my cousin's aunt's cereal. They are very important to me as well. And so I have all of these priorities going on. And the truth is that there are times when I am getting everything done. I'm doing it all. And there are times that something is not going the way I would want it to, or not getting prioritized, because it's impossible to prioritize everything. So for example, I got invited to go on a trip with NASA. That was so much fun. It was a really cool trip. And when I got back, I needed to study, and I did not do the greatest at studying for my BCPPS exam. I got through everything, but because I was having to cram everything in because I wasn't doing it before, because I was doing these cool trips and having fun, that meant that my house was a hot mess. I had a giant pile of laundry that needed to be done. It just like kept piling up, and I was like doing enough laundry to get through, but then not putting it all away. So I just had this like giant pile of laundry that was clean but needed to be folded. I was still cooking some days, but we were definitely eating takeout a lot more often. And so I didn't do it all. In all reality, I was getting things done, and I was getting the things that were most important to me completed, but everything wasn't perfect. The other thing about social media is you never know how much help somebody has behind the scenes. So a lot of content creators, if they're a larger content creator, they're not doing everything alone. They're not recording their own videos, editing their own videos. They're not the one who's responding to comments. They aren't building everything on the back end for their business. They have help, whether that's the form of a virtual assistant, whether that is a significant other that helps with their editing, or they've hired an editor, or they have a social media manager. You don't know what kind of help they have, but there's a pretty good chance that they have some form of help. You also don't know what somebody's significant other is helping them with, or other family members and friends, what their contribution is to their life. So you just truly don't know what's going on behind the scenes that is helping somebody get things done, and there's a pretty good chance they're not doing everything alone. Right now, you are seeing this lovely, clean backdrop. You don't see the fact that there is a pile of these study materials from BCPPS that I haven't decided what I'm going to do with yet since I passed, and they're just chilling on my floor. You don't see the fact that my floor is covered in cat toys. That's what happens when you have a kitten. You don't see the fact that I have a couple different loads of laundry that need to be done and probably needed to be done the other day, or my really messy garage where everything just goes to die and gets forgotten about. That's my reality, not this clean backdrop that you see behind me. And like I said, my life isn't perfect. There are plenty of things that I don't get done on a day-to-day basis, and it's all based on what my priorities are at the time, and those also shift. So sometimes I'm doing more content creation things. Sometimes I'm focusing more on my career, like whenever I was focusing on studying for the boards. Sometimes I'm focused more on my family because they need me at a certain time period. It just really depends on what's happening in my life in that moment and what the priority is then. The other thing that I have realized over time is when I say yes to something, whether it's an opportunity, a leadership experience, going to an event for family or for professional reasons or content creation reasons, I am saying no to something else. Everything that you say yes to is going to have a time commitment to it, and that amount of time, you're not going to be able to do something else. That doesn't mean anything's wrong with that, because saying yes to going to my little cousin's birthday party, totally worth whatever I was going to be doing in that time otherwise, because they only have so many birthdays where they're going to want Aunt Cereal there, and I want to be there for as many of them as possible. But there are other times when I have said yes to maybe doing a speaking engagement that I wasn't really excited about or passionate about the topic they wanted me to talk on, or been asked as a student to take on a leadership role that really I wasn't passionate about. And I said yes to those things. And that meant I said no to other things because I committed to doing this activity and it overlapped with something I really wish I would have been able to say yes to otherwise. And so now I'm just a lot more mindful of that than I was as a student, because as a student I had this mindset of like, I need to say yes to everything because everything's a good opportunity for me to grow. And I did take a lot of really cool opportunities, and I do not regret doing the opportunities that really pushed me forward. But I won some awards and got to really make an impact, which I'm much more proud of than the awards I got because of that impact. And I did that only through 1 or 2 leadership roles that I was really passionate about. And so those other roles, nobody asked me about those or things that I got from those on interviews. I can't even remember some of the activities I did for those. They didn't really benefit me that much because I was so passionate about other things, and sometimes I didn't get to do as much with those other activities as I would have liked to because I had committed to something else. The other thing that has changed for me when it comes to thinking about how does somebody do it all is, what does do it all actually mean to me? Because there's a lot of different definitions of what doing it all means. Does that mean you are truly the person who is doing all the cooking and cleaning in your household, you do all of the laundry and the dishes, but you also work full-time and you take care of 2.5 kids, however many kids people have these days, and you read and you go to the gym every single day and you make home-cooked meals and work full-time as a clinical pharmacist specialist and do all these extracurricular activities? Like, the more I say that, the more exhausted I get. Like, there's no way a single person could do all of that. Not in a single day, not in a single year. So what does doing it all mean for me? What is my goal when I say, you know, I'm doing all of these things? Are they filling my cup up? Are they things that I really want to do? Are they things that are making my life better? Or are they just things I'm putting on my to-do list because I think I should do them? That is the key. Figuring out the difference between the things that you should do because other people are telling you to, and the things you actually want to and need to do to move your life forward. And so now I look at doing it all through that lens and look at the things that I'm choosing to do through that lens, and I think it's changed how my life looks on a day-to-day basis. And you also need to know what your boundaries are and what things that you can push to the side when things get busy, because there are going to be times where a lot of things are hitting at once and you have multiple priorities, so you have to prioritize your priorities. And so, like, what are your non-negotiables and what are the things that are nice to have but not always necessary? So if you're currently somebody who feels like you're failing in a lot of areas and you're just not able to do it all, I think the first place you need to start is to change what doing it all means to you. And if that is your priority is your grades right now, if you're a pharmacy student, then focus on those grades and know that you're going to have to say no to other things in your life, but that's because this is a priority to you now and it's going to benefit you in the future. And also remember, you know, what you're seeing on that pretty Instagram feed is not reality. And if you have specific accounts that you're following on social media that are making you feel that way more so than others, it may be a time to either pause them, mute them, or just get rid of them off of your feed altogether. The other thing I think that's important to realize is what deadlines are really hard deadlines. So for example, if you have an exam on Tuesday, that's a hard deadline. You need to study for that exam before Tuesday. That's not moving. But what deadlines are you putting in place for yourself? For example, like, I need to do this laundry that has been sitting here today. But you look at your calendar and you don't have space today and you have plenty of clothes to wear for the rest of the week. You're setting that deadline that you needed to get that laundry done today. That's not a real deadline. Obviously, I hope you have plenty of clean underwear. Like, if you don't have clean underwear, that's a deadline for today. But other than that, it might be able to wait. So some other things if you're trying to figure out how to improve your timeline or deadlines that keep coming up, these are some things that have helped me. So for things that you need to do around your home, I have kind of a routine and schedule down of when I'm gonna go check to make sure I need laundry. So like, I come home, I change clothes, and I will go through and check the laundry baskets. Do I need to put a load in now? I do my dishes. I like put them in the dishwasher and start the dishwasher before I go to bed, and then before I start cooking, I pull them out of the dishwasher. Every night before I go to bed, because I have cats and they have litter boxes, I sweep the floor. Like, those are different things I'm doing every single day to just keep my house up, so when I do a deeper clean, it's not going to take as long because I have been doing little bits to clean my house every single day. When it comes to extracurriculars, you're going to have to make your yes/no list. And let me know in the comments down below if you want some of my best tips for this. I've actually shared some of this in my email list, which I will also leave a link down below for you to get my free ebook on self-care, as well as join the email newsletter that I send out every single week with tips just like these videos are providing you. But back to the extracurriculars, I think one, you need to give yourself some time. Don't say yes or no to anything immediately. And then two, have a set list of questions that you use to evaluate every single opportunity that comes your way. And while this isn't necessarily always going to be a perfect cookie cutter fit, this is a good place to start. So for work and school, I also recommend knowing what time of day you're most productive with your heavy cognitive work. For me, I am really good in the evenings. I am not a morning person, so at 8 a.m. I am checking emails, partly because my job requires it, but also partly because that's not taking as much cognitive function. And so some of the deeper reading, more clinical things that I do, I try to schedule in my afternoons, because I know at like 1 to 3 is usually my sweet spot for getting things like that done. And the last thing is just knowing what your priorities are and sticking to them and being solid in the boundaries that you set. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about the overwhelm with your to-do list and how to set those priorities up to really help get that overwhelm under control. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!